This conference will now be recorded.
City of Warrenville Public Finance Committee of the whole regular meeting. Roll call, please. I'm sorry for all those that didn't hear me. Welcome to the City of Warrenville Public Safety and Finance Committee of the whole regular meeting. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Brummel,
Here.
Alderman Ashour,
Here.
Alderman Augustinovich,
Here.
Alderman Berry,
Here.
Alderman Davalos,
Here.
Alderman Kruckenberg,
Here.
Alderman Lockett is absent, Alderman Widener,
Here.
Alderman Wilkie.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Would all that can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item would be public comments. Do we have anybody that has anything to say to the council tonight? Online, no takers? We'll move on to public, or to official and staff comments.
Thank you. I just wanted to bring to the attention the cop on a rooftop event that occurred last Friday. Sergeant Matt Komar really does a great job in steering this event. And this year, many others within the city helped out, participated, including the fire department, other city staff. The weather was not the best, but they still were able to raise over $5,200 for Special Olympics on Friday. That, in combination with the polar plunge, ended up being just over $9,000. So just a tremendous job to all the people, within the city that participated, and all the donors out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? The mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I noted that Chief Norton in Glen Ellen was proud of his community for raising $5,000, and Little Warrenville surpassed that, so job well done. And also thank you to the BPAC for the great bike rodeo on Saturday. We had a beautiful day. A lot of young kids came out. 2 kids went home very happy with really nice bikes donated by our recycled bikes in town. So 2 nice things for our community. So thanks so much.
No more comments? We'll move on to the business of the meeting. Number 1, consideration to approve the closure of certain local streets for the annual Independence Day Parade route, parade staging, and Serenity Park festivals as stated in the Warrenville Friends of the Fourth Committee Chairman Colin Wilkie's letter dated May 11th, 2023.
Thank you. I'll introduce this item. The Warrenville Friends of the Fourth Committee Chairman Colin Wilkie has presented the committee's request for approval of the closure of local streets for the Independence Day celebration events, including the parade on Monday, July 3rd, and the Serenity Park Festival on Tuesday, July 4th. And Mr. Wilkie is here to answer any questions that the council might have.
Any comments? Or just, I know that this is something that everybody's in agreement with, that if you'd like to speak to it, fine, and if not, certainly understand you put enough work into it.
I'll just make some quick comments. Appreciate you closing the streets for us. It's that time of year again, and the parade and Serenity celebration will be taking place on the 3rd and also on the 4th. The 3rd Monday is the parade. We'll be closing down the usual streets. I've already asked for permission for the lot that is by the old bank building to have access to that. And also, just to give you a taste of what's coming up, we've got the lineup for Toontastic. On Monday, July 3rd, we're going to have the New Odyssey guy from 7 to 8:30. It's only a guy now. New Odyssey broke up, but he's still around. We're going to have Centerfold after that from 9 to 11 p.m. with special guests Jake and Elwood. And then on Tuesday, we're going to have Katie Costner from 2 to 3:30. Brass on Fire, 4:30 to 6 p.m. High Infidelity, 7:30 p.m. to 9:15 p.m., bringing us up to the fireworks. And then we've got an amazing fireworks display for everyone. So we're really looking forward to doing better than last year. And we appreciate the council's allowing us to close down the streets and take over the center of town for a while. Do you have any questions for me?
Alderman Davalos.
Thank you. I don't have a question, I just have a comment. And I just want to say a big thank you to you and your team. I've worked with you guys before, and so I know how hard you work. And I know how, there's been so many obstacles and things in the last couple of years. And you have weathered them and thought of creative ideas and just gotten good prices on things. And so it's a lot of work. And so I know it'll be wonderful, and I just want to say thank you. You guys do a great job.
Well, thank you.
Anyone else have any questions, comments? The mayor?
I want to thank you also. Are we in a position to announce our celebrity person that's the parade marshal this year?
I believe so. I believe he's locked in. Would you like to do that, Mayor?
Please.
This year, we have a very special parade marshal. It's going to be Jesse White. And Jesse White will be our chairman for the parade. It has nothing to do with Toontastic, but we were very happy to get him, so.
Well done, Colin. And I'm sure we'll have the usual contingent of people from out of town that will come because they enjoy our small-town parade that's accessible and lots of fun and very family-oriented. I run into those folks every year, and it's a delight to go down the parade route and see all the parties in the front yards along the parade route. It is really the best small-town parade we could possibly have, and you make it possible, so thank you.
You all make it possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all your efforts. Is someone willing to make a motion? Alderman Kruckenberg?
I'd like to make a motion to recommend the city council authorize the closure of certain local streets for the annual Independence Day Parade, parade staging, and Cerny Park Festival as stated in the Warrenville Friends of the Fourth Committee Chairman Colin Wilkie's letter dated May 11th, 2023.
Second.
So, pardon me, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Thank you. Number 2, presentation of the OTRS. Number 2, design visualization.
Hello, thank you. Good evening. In conjunction with the preliminary engineering plan for the OTRS number 2 site, visualizations were created to enhance the design and help market the site. We have our consultant from Kimley Horn. We have Daniel Grove and Chris Wilson, who will go through the deliverables, which included 5 still images from the 3D view, including the actual 3D view, which will be a website that the public will be able to view on our city website after some last-minute enhancements and comments, any comments that we get from the committee. And with that, Daniel?
Great. Thanks so much. Again, my name is Daniel Grove. I'm a planner and landscape architect with Kimley Horn. I'm joined by my teammate, Chris Wilson. He'll be speaking in a little bit. I will hand over all the credit to him on these wonderful, see, he gets embarrassed, but these visualizations, Chris and his team are wonderful at this, and I think also probably took a little bit of pride because he is a Warrenville resident. As you know, the goals of looking at this Old Town redevelopment site, has been to help envision what the character, what the density, what the, the type of development could be on this site. Create that image to be able to communicate out to others. Create excitement, create interest around this site, and convey that character, that kind of walkable mixed use feeling that came out of the process to the community, to potential partners who may want to redevelop on this site. So, this is really a lot about generating conversation. So I think it was really a good call to move forward with visualizations, because I think that's going to be the easiest way for people to understand what this site could be. In our process, we started with putting together the alternate site concepts. We engaged with shareholders, and the community to refine those, stakeholders in the community. And then we came in front of City Council back in 2022 in March to kind of discuss this and get the approval for that preferred plan and move forward. From there, ERA was brought on as the consulting engineer to start doing preliminary engineering for the site, and then we were able to sync up with that, work with staff, and work with the civil engineer to use that engineering to model the site and go above and beyond to model an image of what these buildings could be. And for that, we worked with staff. We brought a variety of different images of different types of development so that we could get kind of the character and the scale right. And as you'll see, and Chris will talk through, we really looked at the existing context of the buildings around. At the north end, you've got the animal hospital, white peaked roof. As you kind of wrap around the corner, you've got hotels, and some of the other brick buildings more kind of in that south area. So you'll see that we've really tried to work and reflect, the surrounding context of the buildings. So what we've done is we've put together this 3D model, and one of the advantages is that we can look at it from any angle and do have 360-degree views. So what you have in your packet that I'll just walk through briefly, are the static views that, are easier to print out, put into different promotional materials. So right here, we've got a view of that corner where we've envisioned a public open space at that corner. We're showing, flag court, outdoor seating around the buildings. We're showing a variety of, we're showing some 2-story, some 3-story buildings, just to give a sense. And again, one of the things that we've been saying is that this is just a vision. This isn't what's going to be developed on the site, but we want to encourage conversation and have people react to these. But we think it's a pretty compelling vision. So this is that view kind of looking northeast into the site. You see the big blue arrow at the corner there. And then we come into the site and look at the parking area that's back behind serving these buildings. You see balconies up on the buildings. Those could be, residential units on the 2nd and 3rd floors. So we're looking kind of back towards that corner green space. In between the buildings, we envision that these could be places where, if there's a first floor use, a coffee shop, or other uses could spill out and have some outdoor space in between the buildings. So we're showing that on the west side of the site. This is looking from basically the southeast corner, looking back towards the building. So again, there's that brick character that relates more to that, the character of the buildings around on Warrenville Road and Votels. And then we're up at now the north end, near the animal hospital looking south. And so you see how we've kind of transitioned from brick into kind of a mix of finishes, some stone and some wood siding, and then into a wood siding building that starts to relate with peaked roofs to the animal hospital. So really kind of using that transition, having some diversity on the site. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chris. He's going to show the 360 visualizations that we put together.
Thank you, Daniel. Yep, okay. And then go full screen here.
So as Daniel had kind of mentioned, this is the result of that process going before, looking at the character of the surrounding areas, the existing businesses, whether that's the more residential style businesses or the brick box building businesses, kind of taking those and blending them inward into the site, making it a little bit more modern as it comes together, and then transitioning back into the existing. So looking at those 5 images again, but with a little extra ability to look throughout the rest of the site in 360, we have this website here, which will pull up an aerial image of the site plan, again showing the existing businesses around the road, which is a little bit of modification there, again working with the engineers, and then the 5 different viewpoints on each of the corners here. So similar to that first image that you saw, but now with the ability to pan around and look at how the architecture and how the store frontages and how the parkway interacts with Warrenville Road in this location, the crosswalks, getting into the site, the parking and other features and access, and then being able to jump from there to different points of the model. You can actually see where you came from to where it's going and how that transition goes vertical, but also keeps that same setback from the road and similar feel to the rest of the development. So you can see from the site over there, coming towards that center green with some of the outdoor amenity space that Daniel had mentioned, with the first floor being if it's retail, shop, restaurant or anything like that, spilling out into the area to actually bring more people to the space. And similarly, looking at the alleys between the buildings, rather than proposing it as just being green space or dead space, actually utilizing more of this site to bring people in, to hold people, to encourage people to come to meet, to use the shops, and everything else. So these views, you can then look down the street to see how the architecture, how the building frontage relates to Batavia Road and the parking here. And then, of course, looking back the other direction, up north, again, more of the white, siding, buildings, peaked roofs, things that transition back into those residential style buildings in the area. And this is that same building to the right here, but now looking at it from the inside of the site towards the green space, down towards the river. And you get a little bit of, you can see where the animal hospital currently is and how that relates to the buildings here as it ramps up towards what could be, 2 or 3 story. And then you can see in this image where it ramps back down. And of course, utilizing this lawn space and some of the detention there to bring more natural area, more usable space, and working a little bit with the floodplain that we have to work with in this area as well. And then the final image again, which you've seen, but now being able to look at it from a little bit of a different angle. Again, the architecture ramping up, the different style, going from siding to brick, but very casually, very slowly.
And so what Chris just went through will be, once we get approval, we make any changes that staff has or that the committee has, that will go live and be linked to the city's website. And so people can drop in and explore. And we'll also have a video fly through of the site. And so that'll just, I think, help to communicate, how great this space could be, help people start to envision how they could be a part of it. Hopefully that'll get some developer interest, but we think it'll be a really compelling and easily accessible site for people to use. So we're here to answer any questions or take any comments or input.
Any questions or comments? Alderman Berry?
Thank you very much. This is very interesting. I like the idea that you've taken the brick and then on that one side and then did the wood or whatever that is on the other side to match up with the Warrenville Grove Animal Hospital. It brings kind of the whole piece together, but makes it part of the whole area. It's not, everything is not just cookie cutter, and it's very creative. I like it. And I like the idea that you can move around and you can see different angles. I know that they do a lot of that. I've gone to websites to look at certain things, and you can, it's very interesting because sometimes I've gone on a few cruises and they show you everything is in that ship, and you can go down hallways and aisles, and it just makes it much more exciting. So I think this will be great to be able to develop this corner with this technology. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for your comments.
Any Alderman Davalos?
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to ask, it is really, it's innovative. I like it. I like that you put on the white building, the wood building, is that the different roof lines, because the others are kind of the same, but it's nice to have that. And again, this will be on the website at some point, right? Okay. And then, is there any way for people is there any way where there's just a print, people looking down, like all the other things that we have seen so far? Not a 3D, but just here's Batavia Road, here's Warrenville Road, and, just so people, again, can get, for me to get the relationship with the floodplain and the river, exactly where it is.
So do you want to,
Yeah.
is there more detail? Or
But your stuff on there, your plan on there.
Well, it is. It's just more of this version is a little bit more photorealistic. So you're seeing kind of the buildings in the parking lot. It's not a
Okay.
hand-drawn plan view.
And then do you have that kind of circle in the green area? Is that a plan for something? No, back toward the river.
Oh, this area, we're reflecting, the engineers anticipate that we're going to have some compensatory storage, and then that would be naturalized to help infiltration. So that would be kind
Okay.
of the detention area.
And then do you think that it's the right amount of parking? I mean, I know we've done studies and stuff on that, but we just talked at the last meeting about Warrenville tends to over asphalt everything, so I just.
Yeah, no, I think that at the end of the day, whoever comes in as a developer, and whatever they're proposing will need to find the right balance. But, given the potential uses that we were seeing, between the potential for some retail, some restaurant, some office, some residential,
Yeah.
I think we found a good balance
Yeah,
when
I
we
do.
put the site plan together. But ultimately, whatever the final proposal, and however it comes in as one piece or in increments,
Yeah,
we'll
I
have
know.
to,
I know.
have to come before you and balance,
Yeah.
balance that all out.
Okay, thank you for all the work you've done.
Yeah.
It's so much kind of easier to understand when you've actually put buildings in there with their uses or
Yeah.
or potential their
Yeah.
use. So that's kind of nice. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mayor Brummel?
Of course, one of the major uses of this whole thing is going to be for potential developers, right? To give them an idea
Yep.
of what we're looking for, the quality we're looking for, the types of uses we're looking for. It certainly should help us nail down somebody who's interested in making an investment because they'll know what our expectations are. So I think you've done a great job of presenting that in a very positive way. That will be helpful when we finally get that developer who's interested in investing. So, good job.
Thank you. And yeah, I think it'll also dovetail really nicely with the zoning initiative.
Anyone else? I'd just like to say that this type of presentation will attract people that would never look at it and say it otherwise. There's a big investment that's going to be required to bring about that quality development, and imagining it sometimes just is very difficult. So thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great working with staff on this.
Item number 3, an information report on the OTRS number 2, remediation activities.
Thank you. So this is just I have a memo in the backup material that is information related to an update of the OTRS number 2 work that has been done since the last update. We did it back in July 2022. There have been other items that we have brought to the city council and committees since that point, but the memorandum is a summary of all of the items that we've done since July of last year. So some of the highlights to note in the memo for the Lust-related work that's been ongoing on the site. Our consultant has submitted a completion action plan to the IEPA approval for all of the proposed Lust remediation activities. So that means they submitted the actual plan of what we need to do on the site for the Lust-related contamination. An item to note under the RLF agreement or the revolving loan fund agreement, similar to the Lust, the consultant submitted, it's called a remedial action plan addendum, which, similar to the Lust completion action plan, is a plan for what the city needs to do to address the brownfields RLF-related contamination on the site. So the consultant is in the process of, so they submitted those to the IPA. We'll get comments probably within the next 60 to 90 days on that. We'll respond back to that, and those action plans will be the basis on what our construction documents will entail for the actual construction of and remediation of the site. Let's see, on the second page is related to the preliminary site planning and engineering efforts. Obviously, with the presentation today, we're near the end of the preliminary engineering development, as well as obviously the design visualizations that have been developed over the past several months. The preliminary engineering plan will be the basis, and cost estimate will be the basis for the actual construction documents. And those documents, bidding documents and specifications and the contracts related to those will be presented at a future committee of the whole for that. The anticipated remediation construction activities are anticipated to occur in early 2024, so it's just around the bend. With the consultant contracts, I will also present obviously what the plan is for the construction, what you'll see out there, and how long it's going to take, but we're working through all those details right now with the consultants. We've also met with the Votels on 3 separate occurrences to discuss potential land exchange and property improvement items in the agreement. We've had successful discussions with them. We have another one with them tomorrow. It's going to be an ongoing process, and once we come to, I guess, an agreement between the city and the Votels from staff's perspective on what's going to be happening as part of both the city property and then obviously the Votel property and how access is going to be obtained, we will also obviously present those that discussion to you all as well. I think with that, unless Ron has anything else to add as part of the project.
Lots of moving pieces.
Lots of moving pieces.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Alderman Olds.
Thank you. Can you just remind me what the total estimated amount from the Lust Fund is? We haven't gotten all the money, right?
Correct.
I
So
just
that's
can't remember.
the total. It's dependent on each stage. So we go through different stages for reimbursements. We've already received about $100,000 of reimbursements from the first stage. We have about $15,000 from the Lust Stage 3, and then we have additional money coming from the Lust, so probably another, it's based upon the consultant's action plan, so that's probably another 20 to 30. And then the final construction estimates are part of that completion action plan right now. So I think those are in the, I don't want to say for sure. I'm trying to remember all these numbers throughout my head, but I can provide that information. I need to go back and actually look at all that and see what they actually submitted as part of that action plan. The IEPA actually needs to review everything, so it's kind of in a little bit of a flux.
Yeah, that's wonderful, actually. So thanks for all the work that goes into getting those funds from, it's not just this, but from all the times, but that's remarkable, actually. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mayor?
Quick question, remind me how long we've been working on trying to redevelop that site from our earliest discussions. Ron, do you have an idea how many years we've already invested in trying to make
From
something
the very, very
happen?
beginning?
From the very beginning when we thought, aha, we need to do something there.
I would say it's probably approaching 4 to 5 years. I don't remember exactly when we've actively been engaged with either the property owner to negotiate for the purchase or working on the RLF or any of the other remediation activities that we've been working through. So far about half the time it took us to get the other brownfield site redeveloped.
So we're on our way. But then look at the result of the other site. So hopefully we'll see similar results. Thank you.
Thank you. No other comments or questions? We'll move on to item number 4, consideration of a contract renewal for city prosecutor services with Christine Chekowitz.
Close. Thank you. The city prosecutor represents the city of Warrenville at regular traffic court sessions held at the Wheaton Field Court location. Attorney Sharkowitz has been serving in this capacity since April 2015, and has provided excellent service to the city and to the police department. Ms. Sharkowitz has recently submitted her proposed legal services agreement pertaining to June 1, 2023 through May 31st, 2024. The proposed agreement, you'll note it is in the backup material, but it does not contain any changes on the expiring agreement. So there would not be any fee raises with the new agreement. Like I said, that's included in the backup material, and as I also stated, she does a great job for us in prosecuting our local cases.
Thank you. Any questions? Alderman Widener?
I don't have a question. I just wanted to remark that she's always provided professional services, and it's great that we're holding the line on the fees and charges. So with that, I move to recommend the City Council approve the contract renewal for City Prosecutor Services with Attorney Christine Sharkowitz for the period of June 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2024.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 5, just informational updates on administration, finance, and police department fiscal year 2024 work plans and decision packages. Do we, does anybody have any questions or comments about it? Then we'll receive and file those. Last is commendations. Would the deputy chief care to share those with us?
Thank you. We received a thank you for the care and compassion that our officers show to animals in the community. We often deal with different animals in different situations. Our animal control officer, Josh Perry, does a great job for us, and when he's not available, the patrol officers take over the duties, and this was just in recognition of the care that they provide.
Thank you. The administrator would like to make an announcement.
Thank you. I just wanted to introduce our new Community and Economic Development Director, Amy Emery, who's in the audience this evening, to everyone. Amy, would you like to come up to the podium and just say a quick hello?
Hello, everybody. As you know, my name is Amy Emery. I'm really excited to be joining the Warrenville team. I've had my first day today shadowing Ron and spending time with Christina and the staff, and I'm just very happy that I made the decision to join your team. I come to you with kind of an interesting background. I worked for the city of Naperville for the last 17 years in a number of different roles, and then before that, I was a consultant working for smaller cities and villages across Wisconsin, Michigan, and northern Ohio areas. So bringing to you a lot of experience from different communities, and excited to bring my knowledge to the team and see where we go from here. I was really glad to be able to attend tonight's meeting. I love the renderings that we see there. I think, as you said, it's going to be a really powerful tool for communicating with the community, the vision, and communicating with the developers about what we'd like to see here in Warrenville. So happy to be here and look forward to getting to know you all better.
Thank you and welcome. We have no closed session. We only have one more piece of business. Would someone like to make a motion? Alderman Krockenberg.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
This conference is no longer being recorded.